In order to fuel your road trip of New Zealand, you'll be needing some fuel. But don't go away, because fuel here works a little differently than it does in Europe. In New Zealand, of course, you have petrol and diesel as per normal. However, diesel is nearly half the price of petrol. Now this is because not only are diesel cars less common, also you have to pay a road user charge tax on diesel cars in order to drive them. Now this is around $62 per 1,000 kilometers, although it does depend on the car that you have. However, if you add up the average efficiency of a car and compare it to a petrol, both turn out to be around the same cost, so it really doesn't matter which kind of car you buy. Now there are quite a lot of fuel companies throughout New Zealand, however, we found that Mobile tended to be the cheapest overall. Other companies like Pack and Save Fuel, Gull and Challenge also had their better days as well. And later in this video, I'm going to go over how much fuel costed in different towns and cities throughout New Zealand, so stay tuned for that. To save you more money when fueling up in New Zealand, here are some of our top tips. Number 1, look out for money off adverts in front of fuel stations. This is why we like Mobile so much. They often had adverts on billboards outside saying 6 cents off, 10 cents off per litre today only. Usually you have to spend around $40 to get this discount, but trust me, you'll spend $40 pretty easily. Number 2, if you can't find any of these billboard adverts, then make sure you have a checkout at your local supermarket. These will print off receipts that will say 6 or 10 cents off per litre. Those are the common figures at certain fuel stations around New Zealand. Again, it's usually Mobile, however Caltex and BP can also have these offers as well. And number 3, if you can't find any of these, then AA-Do, a smart fuel card. Basically what this means, if you go shopping at loads of different places which accept AA smart fuel, it doesn't have to be fuel stations, it can be hardware stores, pretty much anywhere. You basically compile savings, so eventually you can get like $1 off per litre for a one-time purchase, which is great, but you can only spend them at Caltex and BP, which we found kind of a medium average price for fuel, but it's not too bad if you can get $1 off. So now, depending on where on earth in the country you are, fuel can sometimes be hard to find. Obviously in the big towns and cities it's not going to be a problem for you, but if you're out in the rural areas, especially on the west coast of the South Island, then sometimes fuel stations can be up to 100 kilometers apart or even more. Now we used apps like MapMe and Campermate to help us find where the fuel stations were, and we planned our trips around this. Also, in more rural places, since it costs more for the fuel to get there, it's more expensive than in others, and we found the North Island to be quite a bit cheaper than the South Island. So coming up next, here's our prognosis for the fuel costs in New Zealand. So first of all here, we start out with the North Island, and if we start in the sunny north, here in Whangarei, we have a price of $1.70 for petrol and $1.05 for diesel. Moving down to the largest town in New Zealand, we come to Auckland, where the fuel is around $1.75 for petrol and $1.05 for diesel. Moving across now to Rotorua, despite the smell, the fuel cost is $1.70 for petrol and $1 for diesel. Coming down to the centre of the north here, the cheapest fuel that we found so far, $1.68 for petrol and $1 for diesel for the town of Taupo. Moving down more towards the east coast and the towns of Napier and Hastings, the twin towns, we can expect a dollar price of $1.78 for petrol and $1.12 for diesel. And finally, coming down to the wettest part of the North Island, Wellington here, a massive price of $2 for petrol and $1.25 for diesel. So there you have it for our North Island prognosis. Now, if you take a short ferry trip down across the bay, then you arrive in the town of Picton on the South Island, where you can pay $2.03 for petrol and $1.30 for diesel. Here, if you decide to go a little bit west towards the town of Nelson, then you can expect to pay $1.98 for petrol and $1.28 for diesel. If you wanted to see some seals, however, I suggest you go down the east coast to the town of Kaikoura, where you can pay $1.95 for petrol and $1.25 for diesel. If you've had enough of the seals, then hop over across the mountains towards the town of Greymouth, where, with a lot of showers and downpours, you can expect to pay $2.10 for petrol and $1.30 for diesel. Come down a bit further and you'll reach the glaciers, where, unfortunately for you, the fuel price will be a whopping $2.25 for petrol and $1.40 for diesel. Coming down to the beautiful lakes of the towns of Queenstown and Wanaka, you can expect to pay a reasonable price of $2.03 for petrol and $1.35 for diesel. Moving closer to the penguins and the Antarctic, you can expect to pay in the town of Invercargill, right down on there in the south coast, a price of $2.05 for petrol and $1.35 for diesel. Coming back up the east coast in the town of Dunedin, you can expect to pay a reasonable price of $2 for petrol and $1.35 for diesel. And now finally we end in Christchurch, although a little bit shaky, can be $2 for petrol and $1.20 for diesel. Thank you and good night. So to fill up an average 60 litre full tank from empty, you can expect to pay around $96 to $135 for a tank of fuel of petrol and around $57 to $87 for a tank of diesel. Now this is obviously a very broad range and was based upon the prices between summer and winter of the year of 2016. However, of course, things can go up and down all the time, so double check before you go. How did you find the costs of fuel in New Zealand? Were they extraordinarily high or very low from where you're from? Let us know down in the comments in comparison, and also don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, subscribe for more videos like this, and always guys, we'll see you next time.